Hola, welcome to my world. Bienvenidos a mi mundo. I am Alicia, and I am your host. Well, this program is going to be a little different. This program is dedicated to my mother and to all the mothers. Este programa va a ser un poco diferente. Este es un programa dedicado a las madres y a mi madre, que en paz descanse, y a todas las madres, y también a todas las personas que actúan como madres. Anyway, most of this will be in English, because what we will show here is the making of a short film that my sister wrote, Betty Kaplan, featuring my mom. La mayoría va a ser en inglés, porque lo que les vamos a enseñar es una película corta que escribió y dirigió mi hermana Betty Kaplan, y la estrella era mi mami, Ruth Antonofsky. Y eso fue 2 años antes de su fallecimiento. Y bueno, también una conversación que encontré por ahí. I found a conversation that we actually had recorded in a booth with my mom. And it was so beautiful, well, so sweet for me to hear her voice and to hear this conversation, which we will feature with pictures. Yo encontré una conversación de mi mami, que lo habíamos grabado por ahí, creo que en Times Square, en Nueva York. Y mira, ¿cómo se dice? Agriamente dulce o dulcemente agrio, escuchar su voz y nuestra conversación, and to remember our beautiful friendship, especially in the last 10 years of her life. Well, without further ado, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Feliz Día las Madres. And with you, my mom, Ruth Antonofsky.
Okay, and mark it.
Hello, my name is Alicia Kaplan. I'm here with my mother, Ruth Antonofsky. We are, what's the date? It's June 3rd in the year of our Lord, 2007, in New York City at Grand Central Station.
At the Biltmore, no less. Well, I'm her mom, and I see on the form it says name, Ruth Antonofsky, age. I've gotten to the point where I don't discuss my age. The date is still June, June 3rd, and here we are. We are going to talk about many things, so just listen.
Okay, Mom. What was the happiest moment of your life?
The happiest moment?
Yep.
I've had so many happy moments. I can't say one.
Well, give me a couple then.
I'll give you a couple. The birth of my first baby.
Just the first? That wasn't me.
That was Betty.
I know.
And she's a film director in L.A. And, well...
okay. So that was one of the happiest moments of your life?
Yes.
Well, I tell you, when I had my two kids, Daniel and Sara Rivas, both times it was happy.
It was always happy. I loved my children. Of course, I was a very big disciplinarian, as Alicia can tell you.
Too much. She believed in physical punishment.
Well, I got that from my Russian parents. But they were good kids.
That we were.
And then we had a trio. We all were ballet dancers. Did she ever tell you that?
No, I haven't even started. I wanted to go a little into your childhood. You were born here in New York City, and my grandparents, your parents, were Russian, or now, as they would say, Ukrainian immigrants.
Well, my mother was from Austria. But we were so poor. I was one of the dead-end kids. I did everything. I was one of the boys, but I had 3 brothers. We did everything.
What's everything to you?
Well, we stole.
They'll be after you. It's never too late.
I also sold shopping bags when I was 8, 9 years old, shopping bags in the marketplace. How did I ever get to be such an entrepreneur?
Necessity?
Necessity. My father, at one point, was even considered a terrorist.
That word has a different connotation today.
It does.
So explain yourself.
Thank you, dear. Well, actually, when he first came here, he was a good-looking Russian with blonde hair. He was a stevedore, and then he got involved in the clothing industry. And at that time, there was no union, so he tried with others to form a union, and that's how they went up to one place and tore off their fabrics and everything, and that was the story. That's why we were so poor. He was blacklisted.
Well, was he thrown in jail for that, or?
No, they didn't. But they were going to fine him, but he had no money, so they didn't.
But wasn't it the point that they wanted to form a union? Is that
yes,
why he was doing that? Okay, let's clarify
That's what he was doing. They were forming the Workers' Clothing Union. And that was the beginning.
Okay, so that sounds really cool. How about your mom, Fanny Horowitz?
Fanny.
My grandma, by the way.
Your grandma. Well, because there was no money, there was always fighting. They were always fighting. And what was I going to say? She also read cards on occasion.
Ah, she was a witch.
Yep. And I'm the daughter of a witch, and it comes in handy sometimes.
Hey, and I'm the granddaughter of a witch, and that comes in handy too. Watch it.
Watch it. I met my first husband while I was washing the kitchen floor.
Her first husband, she means my dad.
Your dad.
I was just going to ask you that.
Oh, see, I beat you to the punch.
So tell us about meeting Bernard Kaplan.
Well, Bernard Kaplan, he was a student at Cooper Union, and he was a good friend with my brother.
This is after the war, or?
That's before the war, dear.
Second World War.
We're talking about the Second World War. I mean, if it was the First World War, I wouldn't be here.
Hey,
I'd be here in spirit.
Hey, and you should see what my mom looks like.
As a spirit?
No, it's a beautiful woman still.
Oh, yeah.
If this was a movie, then we could see your beauty. But
as a matter of fact, I must have been in love at some point with somebody.
Well, who were you in love with? Let's get into that. You weren't in love with my father. He just happened to be there?
He just happened to be there. I
You
wasn't
see?
really in love with him. My really big love affair was with David Dardick.
But that was so much later, Mom.
That was so much later.
Your second cousin, David Dardick. I actually was present. This was at the funeral
of Bernard Herrmann.
Bernard Herrmann, which is also your second
was also
cousin,
my second
the great
cousin.
Composer of the Hitchcock films.
Right. He also had.
And I happened to be in the elevator, and I actually wrote a play about this.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I think it's in Spanish,
goodness.
though.
Oh, well, my
but
Spanish
you were
is...
struck. I was in that elevator at the funeral home when you met him.
Yes, I saw this man walking down the stairs, and our eyes met, and that was the end of me. And when he asked me for my name, I said, well, I'm Ruth A. Kaplan, and I'm in the phone book. That's after I left Venezuela to come to New York.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
That's another story.
Do you want to continue with this story, or should we go back a little when you took your 3 kids to Venezuela? Because my father was working there.
Right.
And we grew up in Venezuela.
Right. That's why their Spanish is so good. They were going to school in Spanish. And we even went at one point, when Betty graduated high school,
Betty's my sister.
Right.
Her firstborn.
Okay, it had nothing to do with my secondborn. I loved her just the same.
I just happen to live in New York, so she got to see me all the time.
Thank God, because she's responsible for me now. You know, should I mention it?
Sure, you can mention whatever you want.
I've had open heart surgery 6 months ago. So just think of the responsibility that Alicia has.
I don't even think of the responsibility.
Don't.
I just like being in your company. Hey, she's also my best friend.
That's true, and she's mine when we go on dates together. As a matter of fact, when Betty graduated, we took a trip to Canaima, and then we went to Angel Falls.
This is Angel Falls in Venezuela.
That's the highest waterfall in the world. It's the 9th wonder.
I actually remember going there. Also, my little brother.
He was 12 at the time.
Roger Kaplan.
Right. I even got a song about Roger Kaplan.
You want to sing it now? That would be,
that would be
fit in.
That would be fitting.
Go on.
When my 2 daughters were born, I didn't want them to be jealous when my baby
her only
Roger,
son was born.
My only son. I only had 1 son.
That's
so to keep the kids happy, I did a little number, and we called it Roger Paul. It's a song, and she does some of the acting in it.
Which you can't see, of course.
No. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. Now, Roger was an Indian chief. Roger Paul, Roger Paul.
Oh.
Roger lived in a great big tent made of brick and cement. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. Every day he'd go out hunting in his new sky blue bunting. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. One day he caught a bear, dragged him home by shaggy hair. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. One day now Roger had 2 sisters fair. They had long and yellow hair. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. One day they took a trip on a big white sailing ship. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. To a land so very far away, where day is night and night is day. Roger Paul, Roger Paul. Now this is a story that has no end, so sing and dance and just pretend.
Roger Paul. Maybe you want to talk about how in Venezuela you really became involved with the arts and you became the favorite choreographer of Maria Luisa Escobar.
Yes.
And years later when we went to Venezuela, we encountered a statue of her. She was the founder of the Composers Union in Venezuela.
That's true.
And, Mom, I remember you stuck us in all her zarzuelas and operettas. You were doing the choreography, and I even remember playing Tinkerbell in some weird operetta that she had with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell.
Well, I was once a
and
schmohawk.
all the indigenous people of Venezuela.
Remember, she once did she did a television program every week. We'd rehearse on Tuesday, and Friday we'd do it live.
That was live television.
Live television. And one day I was an American Indian, a schmohawk from New York.
Well, she said you were an indigenous person. And you made that joke. You said, yes, I'm a schmohawk from New York. I remember that.
Well, anyway, and then
so tell about, you put us in ballet. We were with Lydia Franklin, and we were with Nina Novak and Ballet Nacional de Venezuela.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And then I was doing some choreography for the Caracas Theater Club, and we did The Love of Four Colonels. So each colonel had a little bit, an English colonel,
I think that plays by Peter Ustinov.
Yeah, and and then for the 10th Street Rag that we did, I taught the girls to do a little bump and grind, and they were so young.
And I remember we had a review in the American paper.
Yes, the Caracas Journal. Oh, did they say what kind of a mother I am to teach the girls to do bumps and grinds?
So much for that.
So much for that. Now let's talk about my second love affair. Or do you want to talk about your...
Do I want to talk? No, let's let you talk all the time.
Well, David Dardig, my love, my true love. I met him, and that was the first love affair I've ever had.
Better late than never, huh?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. You're gorgeous now, kid. Now's the time to make hay while the sun shines.
Before the sun sets. Huh?
Exactly. What a sense of humor that gal has. Well, anyway, David Dardig was an inventor. He invented a high-velocity, all-purpose weapon that could fire 30,000 rounds a minute. Get it? Okay. Now I'll read you. I don't know where and who I might have been thinking about.
This is a poem you wrote.
Yeah. What evil spirit possessed me to think that for one brief moment I stood on the brink of immortality, and that which lured me through your eyes was desire that sprang unforbidden, for when I looked again, you were not there.
What would you most like to do now?
What? Just do what I'm doing.
Which is?
I am an actress, and that's what I'd like to do. I don't think at this moment that I can do stage work. It's just too much. But film, I'm ready for that.
Well, if you could do anything in your life differently, what would you do?
Nothing.
It would all be the same.
I love what I did. I am when my maker calls me, I'm ready. I just hope he makes it quick, so I don't have any lingering.
What do you mean makes it quick?
So, like, if I walk out of here, I pop down.
Oh, that would be great.
You'd have the responsibility, not I.
Right, I could just freeze there. Well, I think you're going to be around for a long time, Mom. Hopefully. How would you like to be remembered?
As a mother of Alicia, Betty, and Roger.
So what is your earliest memory, Mom?
My earliest memories of when my brother is in a baby carriage, and that's at St. Is it Thompson's Park? Tompkins Square Park. Yeah. And I'm about 2 or 2.5, and I'm freezing. And my father's talking. He always was a man's man. They were discussing, and there am I standing and freezing. And I couldn't do anything about it. I would have loved to have crawled into the carriage with my brother.
Well, you should have.
And not only that, at one point I was kidnapped, I understand.
Really? How that happened?
And then my father's friends, he knew everybody, caught this person taking me into a cab and stopped him.
That's because you must have been a beautiful baby.
You must have been a
baby, look at you now.
Oh, wow.
I'll take your picture, Mom.
Oh, he's going to take my picture? Oh, God.
Oh, you look beautiful. Come on. Vanity, thy name is woman.
That's true, but thank God for that.
Right.
Because at this moment in my life, I've become a streetwalker, which is not...
Oh, my God.
No. That's
what
not...
What do you mean a streetwalker?
I walk. I love to walk.
I love to walk, too. That doesn't make me a streetwalker.
No, but I watch people. And the women now, they come out with their hair disheveled. It's like they don't take time out to make themselves look better than they are.
We're living in the age of be as comfortable as you are.
Oh, really?
No, everybody with their little flip-flops and I don't know.
I don't know.
It goes from one extreme to the other. It's like wear these like 7-inch high heels and tight dresses or go in jeans and flip-flops. Right, let's round up this interview. Anything that we haven't discussed that you want to leave for posterity?
What else can I say?
The Antoinettes.
Oh,
the
right.
Antoinettes.
The Antoinette.
Oh, right. When she decided at one point, oh, I mean, I don't like this. I mean, you're forcing me. I said, listen, you belong to me.
See, this is the mentality of those days. Anyway, this is something you started, the trio with you and my sister and myself. And we actually worked on all the channels in Venezuela, all the TV channels.
And not only that, but what was interesting is when Alicia is telling me how she has to direct and costume and this and that, I never realized the work I put in. I never thought about it. I mean, I did the choreography. I mean, of the records that I had, which was Mac the Knife, 12th Street Rag, the Can. I did the choreography. I costumed everybody. I had a dressmaker make it. And, it's not like you go into a shop here and buy a costume. No.
But it was much better that when you get somebody to make your costumes.
I had...
It's much
What was her
easier.
name again?
I forget. But, Ma,
she
come
did the
to think
costumes.
about it.
What?
You're living in Venezuela. I mean, it was a pretty comfy life.
It was.
My dad was an engineer.
Right.
I mean,
Thank God he supported us.
Exactly. So you could do all your artistic endeavors, you know.
Right.
But anyway, who would you like to have listened to this interview? Who would you like to dedicate this to?
Get dedicated to the ATF.
No. Let's leave this on a happy note. Wouldn't you like your grandchildren to hear it? A little bits of your life.
Well, I'm sure they all know it, dear.
Well, how about your great-grandchildren?
Well, I'm waiting for that. If I should live so long, as they say.
I hope so.
I should live so long.
They're busy with their careers. Everything occurs later nowadays.
Yeah, well, that's too bad.
Anyway, Mom, I love you.
I love you too, dear. That's another thing. Every time we leave each other, we say, I love you.
And
on the
we
telephone.
call each other when we get to...
Wherever we're going, I love
Okay,
you.
love
Because
you
we
too,
never
Mom.
know at this point.
That's true. You never know. Anybody.
Right.
Okay.
Love you, dear.
Love you, Mom.